So it doesn't look like I've done much, but I have been tinkering away. Got a radiator, modified it, got the little welding company, Mark Horn, very good welder of any material, I would say, and he kindly welded these brackets on for me. There. He also plugged a hole there, moved the outlets that were on the end to the top, and I made some bigger 25mm outlets. There was also an issue with this radiator that there's obviously a divider in this end tank, and when I drilled these holes I could see that it was pretty much useless. It was like halfway along. Most of the flow would just go, you know, across here and avoid the matrix, so I had to weld in a new divider, baffle, whatever you want to call it. It's not a baffle, is it? Bolted it up with some rubber in there, and it's on there. I don't know if I'm going to add a brace. Probably will, because once it's full of coolant and bumping around, G-forces, etc. Yeah, it's only into this 1.5mm aluminium, so you know, a brace from there would probably is all that's needed. Could do another one here if I needed to, and then when I get chance I'll fabricate a scoop for the thing, but not for now. It's on. I can't fill it up with coolant because I'm waiting for a few things. I'm waiting for more Jubilee clips, which is annoying. They got lost in the post. I'm waiting for a union so I can hook up the oil cooler line. It's like it's an oil to coolant heat exchanger on the front of these blocks, so I need to hook that in. Waiting for that. The coolant tank is just swinging in the breeze, so I need to make a mount for that. Like, it's not too bad. Once all the hoses are bolted up to it, it's not too bad, but it does need a mount. Yeah, so that needs to be done. There's a bit of fabrication there, actually. And finally, I have done the engine cover. Filled it, sanded it, primed it, sprayed it. It's done. You know, I had cut that slot in there. That's just obviously all blended in. You don't even notice. The paint's not great this time around. I had some issues with the gum, but I think once I buff it back, that'll be fine. So that is done, thankfully. So I'm having a look at the string lines now, as I've got just like 10 minutes to look at that. Now I bought these, or I have these tubes which I connect the strings to, and the holes are identically spaced on the tube, so all I've got to do is center the tubes to the chassis, or to the axles to the chassis, and then I can string line the car or align the car. But what I'd like to do is just to be able to come along and quickly put these on. So I need to design and make some brackets here. I might even leave them on the car. Print some brackets that I can just drop this tube into and it hold it enough to do the job. And then at the back here, it's a bit more tricky because it has to be, it's actually miles away from anything. And using axle stands is fine, like, and I've done that in the past, but it would be nice to come along and just bolt on something. I'm wondering whether I should just make something across here. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll design and print something that I can bolt straight to that wing stanchion, and then just, but it doesn't live on there, just bolt it on quickly, and then this guy's in the right place. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do it where as soon as you bolt it on, it's in exactly the right place. I'd have to go around and measure to make sure it's in the center and everything's good, but yeah, that's the plan. So looking at the alignment poles again and string lines, I've printed those clips which are there, and they're staying on the chassis, and they're just a pop-in style clip, so I can come along, pop the tube in there, and then these things I've printed to set the side to side, so it sort of locks it in side to side. I haven't set that, but it's there or thereabouts. Happy with that. At the back it's a bit more complicated. Well, is it? So I printed this very over-engineered bracket, which I will have to bolt onto this stanchion every time I want to use it. That's fine. It can stay on this tube, so that's clamped in there. So that's clamped side to side. The only thing is obviously it can rotate around the stanchion, which will affect the width. So all I would need to do when I'm doing it is bolt it up and then square it to the car. I guess I could measure off the chassis back to here and chassis back to there. Yeah, and then just measure the string lines from the chassis just to square it up. So that's a bit more work when doing it, but I mean, doing these things is way quicker than I was doing it before. So yeah, pretty happy with those. I'm in the process of pouring a new seat, and so I'm stuck here waiting for this foam to cure. It's mad. It's expanded a lot, and it's quite hot. There's the junk. I had some help from someone, and he got bored waiting, so I'm in here. Actually, it's already hard. I've been in here 15-20 minutes. Yeah, it's a nice comfy fit. The seat mold turned out well, so that's it in its not its raw form. I've trimmed it like around the perimeter, trimmed it up, added recesses for the belts and relief for the gear linkage and other things. Just got to figure out where the crotch belts are coming through. That groove might need to be a bit deeper, as I've marked there, and then try and cover it with something, either tape or some sort of fabric. But it's good. It's very tight, very comfortable, safe, hopefully. These final bits have really been kicking my ass, actually. Back ends apart for various reasons. I'll just show you what's going on. The bolts that hold the diff in were not long enough, so I had to order some longer ones, and they're also high tensile now. I don't think they were before. I've also made some shims. The chain was pretty slack, and I couldn't get it tighter because the shims were like, I think they were 1.5 or 1.5 shims, and having like 3 shims in there just didn't work. They're just a pain in the ass. So I got some 6mm alley and made some spacers, and now that chain is good. It's actually probably a touch too tight, but I think it will stretch a little bit, and that'll work. And I've still got the shims if I need to go a wee bit more. Also, these end covers need swapping over because I need the grease, or now probably oil ports at the top. So that's the pain, so swapping them over. That's why these are out. What else is back here? Yeah, the wing mount. There wasn't enough clearance on the wing mount for all of the gubbins back here, so I had to make that clearance. So much. I'm also looking at the rear alignment, well, front and rear alignment, but annoyingly on these early Jedis, the rod eyes, you just wind them out, right? Wind them in and out to get a toe, but you have to disassemble it to do that. What a pain. And I didn't set it. I just threw it together initially, like just to get it together, but now I'm having to take it apart, make sure these 2 rod eyes are the same distance out of this lower arm, and then the same on the other side, and then this rod eye is the same as on the other side. So I'm at least trying to balance it from the start, assemble it again, and then see what happens. Also want to get this part of the lower arm perpendicular 90 degrees to the frame, and that kind of ensures everything's square. Yeah, so that's what's going on back here. At the front, I have actually done the alignment on the front. That was like probably a week ago now, but what a pain, because there's so many points of adjustment. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on each side, so you've got to like balance it. And then there's the toe, so that's 5 on each side. It's like 10 points of adjustment, let's say, and it's an absolute pain in the arse. It really is. I don't know what they were thinking. yeah, you can't easily adjust the camber, as you can see, because you have to disassemble, wind the rod eye in or out, then reassemble, or you do it on the bottom one. But when you do that on both, it changes the caster and the toe. So you just go around in circles. That's why I've only just started on the rear, because this annoyed me. I mean, what it really needs is like a shim stack in here. If that was cut and then you had two like flanges with shims in between, then you could change the camber without changing the caster, I'm sure. Yeah, the toe would change, but at least it's something. It's interesting because on most like road cars, at least one of these arms is kind of fixed. Like on the Mini, the bottom, the top arm in my case, is fixed. So that's like at least a datum you start from. You can't change it. So then you're only adjusting the bottom arm and then the toe. But here it's just everything. What a nightmare. So I'm just about to go and do that on the rear. And then I've got still a lot of things on the to-do list. Also back here, I've made a bracket to hold the expansion tank. Like it's not my best work. It's custom, comes off of that bolt there, and just uses a Jubilee clip. Yeah, I could have got a bit more fancy with it, but it's fine for now. In fact, a lot of the work is done by this one, which I made. Just cut a bit of mild steel tubing there in half, and then it's like Jubilee clip again coming off that. So I mean, it's sturdy, real sturdy. Put this little chain guard on. That was on the original car. It's just been anodized. I've now done the rear alignment. It was as bad, no, as bad of a job as I thought it was going to be. It's awful. I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say it's awful because, like, you know, I like the car, but it's a pig to do. It's an absolute pig. You know, I was trying to get that lower arm 90 degrees, but also like level. I felt like if that lower arm was level, then this upright would be level. But then you've got these two, which will change that, great. But then also you can shorten both of these two to give it toe in, length them to give it toe out. And then that one's handy because you can just move that for camber, so that's cool. But then you've got the what am I saying? The track wheelbase. The wheelbase changes. So if I shorten those two arms, they're going to pull that wheel forward, which gives you let's say gives you toe in, but then you've shortened the wheelbase, which might be different to the other side. So you're trying to match the two sides and get the right toe. And in the end, I had to take it apart 2 or 3 times to adjust that rod eye. So I found out that half a turn on that rod eye was about 2 mil of toe adjustment. But of course it took me a couple of times to figure that out, and then I got it right on the 3rd time. Same with the other side, and it's there now. So I've got the right camber, got the right toe, and we're there. Seat's been covered and finished, that's in. Yeah, I need to take it out again because I need to put the harnesses in, but like I'm happy with that, the way that looks. It looks better in the flesh than it does on camera for some reason, but it gives it a nice finish, and yeah, it looks good.